SWAC championship match for the 4th consecutive season. His counterpart, Marcus Herford, in his first year in charge of Jackson State, taking over for the legendary Rose Washington. He was a part of her staff for the previous 6 seasons. And again, the number 1 and 2 seeds in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, ready to do battle one more time here in Grambling, Louisiana, and we are underway. And the first point of the match goes to FAMU.
But good try, though, for the Tigers, already getting that slide involved with the first play. Didn't go in, but that's what you want, is a fast-tempo offense running through the middle right from the get-out.
Florida A&M went 16-0 in conference play this year. Again, they were fired up after losing in this championship match to Jackson State last year. And they faced this Jackson State time twice this year. It was a classic finish in both of the previous matchups. Both went to 5 sets, and FAMU won both of those contests against this Jackson State team, and led by Marcus Herford. There is already a delay after this one due to a challenge issued by Marcus Herford after the opening point.
I don't think I've ever seen an opening point of the match with a challenge. But go for it, because this was worth it. You see this tip right here? That, in my eyes, is an absolute touch from Jackson State, going with the block, getting that tiny touch. Clearly, Jordan Jones thinks she got the kill.
It's a Jackson State team that ended the regular season red hot. They won 9 of their last 10 entering the tournament. Their only loss was to this Florida A&M squad.
Marcus Herford not looking too nervous. I like that both these coaches today talked to us. They looked happy, excited. Of course, there's some nerves, but mostly look ready to play.
Jackson State went on a magical run last year in this very tournament. They were the 5 seed entering the SWAC tournament. They had won 1 match the entire month heading into the postseason. They stunned the number 1 seed, Alabama State. And then after that, they took down this FAMU team. They swept them. And again, Marcus Herford, a part of that squad, an assistant on that staff, awaiting the results of this review here after the opening points. For FAMU, they are the perennial contenders here. Again, making it to the championship match for the 4th consecutive season. And they won it in 2021 as well as 2022, advancing to the NCAA postseason. Again, the winner of this one punches their ticket to the NCAA postseason. After all this buildup, all the adrenaline, all the excitement, Gokhan Yilmaz saying, let's go already. Let's get things going.
Yeah, I like talking to Yilmaz before the match. He was really smiling, excited, talking about his players, who's who. You can tell he was not scared of this stage.
This is his 7th year in charge of the Rattlers. This is the winningest team Gokhan Yilmaz has had, 26 victories as another review. And it did go off the fingertips of Brooklyn Watts. So the wait was worth it for Marcus Herford and Jackson State. They take the opening point of this championship match. The serving is Jaden James. Led the SWAC in kills per set this year. Hope Briggs. And that one hammered off the block by Alexis Williams, the star senior from Jackson State.
Williams with a 2-step approach. She was not far off the net, had some patience, got that big swing. It was all in the footwork for that kill.
Jaden James used to play in this arena, the former Grambling State product. Transferred a few years ago to Jackson State. Trinity Bryant with the dig. And flying in on the attack is Jaden James, but too strong. And the Rattlers with their first point of the match.
You can tell the Tigers are already getting different plays going early. The slide, the back row attack. They're really trying to spread the offense and test the Rattlers from the get-go.
And Brooklyn Watts with the serve for FAMU. And charging in on the attack was Hope Briggs, the sophomore out of Cedar Hill, Texas.
Watching Briggs, she almost pauses in the air. She has that hops and that hang time. Even if she's a little early, she still can get the kill.
She had 14 kills against this FAMU squad last year in the title match. But there's a service error. Now keep in mind, We said both of the previous meetings earlier this year between these two teams went to 5 sets. FAMU with the edge in both. But the Rattlers had 2 players they are without in this one. Sanford and Coliva. We'll see the results of this one. As that one is in Jackson State with the advantage. Alexis Williams doing damage early.
Perfect connection with Williams and her setter. That set was exactly in the hitter window Williams wants. Had that full approach, the biggest swing, and placed it in that seam.
Alexis Williams, 18 matches during the regular season with double-digit kills. Here is Nyjah Gaddis, the sophomore out of Indianapolis. Poked over. Mackenzie Washington there. Tapped over by Jaden James, and then they'll find the floor. Tigers by 3.
Jaden James rolling from the back row attack. That's so hard to do because it's so obvious to your opponent that that ball's coming over slowly. But she sees how wide open the Rattlers court is and makes that decision, and it pays off.
Gaddis serving again, 25 aces during the regular season. Both of these teams really strong from the service line. There was Gaddis sliding in. That one fought off by Mackenzie Taylor. A couple of Tigers collide. Here comes Alexis Williams again. This time the block was there for FAMU.
Thomas stuffing Williams. Thomas knows that we have to stop the outsides for the Tigers if we are going to win this match. Great block on her end.
Brooklyn Thomas, the senior transfer from Winthrop. A very experienced Rattler squad, a lot of transfers. They are graduating 9 seniors from this team. Served by London Hatch. Hammered off the block in the middle. Dove on the attack, but it was shoved right back in her face by Isis Williams.
Williams with all the momentum of this block. Watch how personal this is. One-on-one. Williams has the perfect timing against Dove, getting her whole team into it.
And Williams is the best middle this program has seen in a long time. First Rattler to break into the all-time top 10 list in blocks in 25 years. What a pancake by FAMU. And again, the Rattlers show up on the defensive end. Moments later, Williams, no, that one misses the mark.
Get ready for defensive plays like this from the Rattlers. They had 67 digs yesterday, and Yoman says that's what we do. We extend the rally, we get pancakes, we cover our hitters, and you can see it paying off.
Hatch, 24 aces during the regular season. That one deflected high towards the rafters off of Hatch. Tapped over by Rhodes, former SWAC Player of the Year. And that one put away in the middle by Kyra Dove, the sophomore out of Austin, Texas.
The Tigers want to run their offense through Dove. When they give her that short one, it gives Florida A&M absolutely 0 time to set up a strong block against her.
Tigers go back up by 1. In the middle, tooling the block, and the Rattlers have tied it up yet again. Isis Williams. And Williams, one of these experienced veterans, has played in more than 110 matches throughout her career with the Rattlers. And swooping in on the attack and tooling the block is Mackenzie Washington.
And Washington was so far off the net with that approach, but she really took up a lot of space and made sure she had a strong swing, not even going for the roll.
Both teams were hitting 143 before that point. Here's the senior libero, Trinity Bryant. Tapped over the block. Bryant's there defensively. And charging in is Alexis Williams, but out of bounds, tied at 7.
Williams with back-to-back errors, getting that ball out, but it's right by the line. She is being purposeful. She is not being negligent with these hits. Eventually, that's going to fall in.
With the serve, the freshman libero from Spain, Tinens Galmez. Free ball for the Rattlers. Galmez in the middle, miscommunication there. Punched up at the last second. On the attack is Jaden James, who led the SWAC in kills % on the season.
Whenever Williams is struggling, James is going to help her out of that funk. These outsides are such a compliment to each other. Look at this hit off the block of the Rattlers. James trying to find the hands of FAMU.
She had 40 kills against the Rattlers in 2 matches during the regular season. Kara Stove service error. Just a back and forth opening set. We'll see how the Rattlers respond, tied again, this time at 8, with Mackenzie Taylor, the freshman setter, who's taken over for the injured veteran Alexandra Koliva, who led the SWAC in assists per set. Off hands, Hope Briggs.
Good play by Briggs coming into the middle. I didn't even see her coming in for this approach. That's great offensive play right there. You can see how much work the Tigers have put in the practice gym.
Tigers back up by 1. James serving. That one fought off by Dershana Brown. Brooklyn Watts charging in. No. Jackson State block denied her.
1 or 2 points go so far in this match. The Tigers taking all the momentum because it's a back and forth set right now. You can see this block from Briggs, how much energy it brings to the Tigers.
Jackson State team that went 13-3 in conference play. 2 of those 3 losses were to this FAMU team. And FAMU ends up with the point. The Rattlers back within 1.
And we talked about Watts. She's one of the players of the school that's reached 1,000 career kills. She's going to be fed a lot in this match, and she's going to have to get used to finding the block and hitting around the Tigers.
Off the Watts serve. There's Hope Briggs again. Did it early in set number 1.
Briggs, the last kill going through the middle. Now almost looking like a back row attack. This set is so far off the net for her, but she has this huge approach right to your screen. Look at Brooks come out of nowhere and place that ball around the block.
Off the Jordan Jones serve. Rattlers trying to respond, no, and the Tigers extend their lead to 3. This is a heated rivalry again, met in the championship match last year and a couple of nail-biters earlier this season. And popped up in the air by Alexis Williams. The Tigers keep it going. Jada Rhodes diving to the floor was Williams for the Tigers. Briggs, Galmez in the middle. The Rattlers get the point.
All-out effort for the Tigers. Watts finally putting it down, but Jackson State's doing everything they can to extend this play. Watts finally finding success off the block in front of her.
Kalia Todd with the serve for A&M. Alexis Williams, that one deflecting back to her own side. Todd was there with the dig. Free ball for the Tigers. Frantic pace early on, and there is Isis Williams with another block.
Suffocating block by Williams. I absolutely thought Dove was going to get this kill, but Isis times it perfectly. Again, another one-on-one block for her. She is waiting for this middle in front of her.
She's getting close to 300 blocks for her career, the 6'2" middle. Back to Alexis Williams, go the Tigers, and it pays off.
That line shot is what Williams was going for early in the match. Was going a little too far out from the right back, adjusted just a tiny bit, and finally found the line.
The senior out of Manville, Texas, had a double-double against Florida A&M in this championship match a season ago. Nyjah Gaddis serving. Galmez. And charging in with a devastating attack was Jada Rhodes.
Taylor giving Rhodes the shortest set, running that rip, forcing the offense to speed up that approach, giving Jackson State no time to set up the block. See how off the block was? That's because the set was so low.
Rhodes was a major coup for Gokhan Yilmaz, bringing her over from Alabama State after she was the top player in the conference a season ago. And swooping in, but too strong is Mackenzie Washington.
Tigers hitting really aggressively, which you always want, but right now the errors are coming just from a foot or so outside the line. That's when you have to start adjusting it right now.
The Rattlers have fought back from numerous three-point deficits in this set. Let's see if they can take the lead. Alexis Williams denied. Tigers keep it going. Sent over by James. No, sent back the other way. Mrs. Williams stomps across the floor as her team goes up by 1.
Williams is getting me pumped up with her block celebrations, and she deserves it. This back row attack, she is getting everything right because of the timing. She waits and she reads where the hitter is going to go.
This rivalry is personal, in case you couldn't tell, for Florida A&M. Diving in, Galmez, the freshman. Jada Rhodes. Oh, what effort by the Tigers. Nijat Gaddis off the tape. And that one over the head of Galmez. Point Tigers. That effort for Jackson State paying off.
I don't know what's going better for the Tigers, their offense or defense right now. They are not letting anything hit the ground. Not only a great up, but up to target. And then finally, this power tip, this jam right in the back. Amazing hit.
What an opening set between Jackson State and FAMU. Joust.
Jackson State completely in the net. Way too tight of a set. At that point, you can't really help it. It's hard to jump straight up and down.
And with that, we catch our breath. The Rattlers go up by 1 in the opening set of the SWAC Championship here from Grambling, Louisiana. It's to go up by 1 as we get ready to resume play, Shelby.
I love when you said catch your breath, Alex, because already in this first set, that's how I feel. From the offense, the defense, the blocks. I don't know how these players must feel, but they probably have so much adrenaline that hasn't even hit them yet.
And again, FAMU without 2 of their top players for this one. One of the best setters in the SWAC, Alexandra Koliva, with a torn ACL. And the second best hitter in kills coming into the postseason, Ione Sanford, injured her ankle last night. Regardless, Florida A&M still leads by 1 with Brashana Brown, senior transfer from Houston, get ready to serve. She did have 4 aces against this Jackson State team in one of their meetings back in September.
Yilmaz did say serve and pass is going to be a huge key to us. He actually said that was going to be the first key in order to win this match right here to go to the tournament.
So we did have that long delay after the opening point. That was not a sign of things to come. After that, it was just end-to-end action between the Rattlers and the Tigers. Again, the winner of this one punches a ticket to the NCAA postseason. Working on some technical issues here at the Hockey Assembly Center. All smiles from Gokhan Yilmaz. Early with his team up by 1. Brown with the serve. Gaddis chases that one down. James with the attack. The dig by Brown. Pushed over by Brooklyn Watts. In the middle, over the block. And it's Kyra Dove, the sophomore out of Austin.
And there was definitely a lull in momentum. Whenever the match stops like that, it's hard to come back with all that energy. Dove does a great job at finding that ball, making it drop, getting the point momentum for her team.
Trinity Bryant, big part of last year's championship team. Brooklyn Watts off the block. Gaddis has been everywhere for the Tigers defensively.
That's what you call a run-through from Gaddis. She did everything she could to stay on her feet, finally drops and make sure the ball goes back to target. That's when you were when you first start playing volleyball.
But James had a little too much on it, so the point goes to the Rattlers. Florida A&M undefeated in conference play this year. Hoping to keep that streak alive in their biggest game of the season. That one knocked over Alexis Williams. The attack by Milana Thornton is in the match for the first time. There is Watts showing off that power for FAMU.
You know you're doing something right when you make the ball drop on the Tiger side with absolutely zero touch. Watts placing it perfectly in this deep corner. The left back, middle back, no one could cut that ball off. There's too much power.
Watts, another key transfer for Gokhan Yilmaz, coming over a few years ago from Murray State. But the Tigers respond thanks to Jaden James, a transfer of their own.
There's no defending that line shot from Jaden James. Sometimes you just got to give it to your opponent. That was a great hit. Make sure you are reading the ball, stopped when she makes contact. Other than that, it was just too strong of a kill.
Karis Dove and Kyra Dove, both out of the Austin, Texas area, both with the same last name. Both with the same first letter of the first name, absolutely no relation. But they've had a big impact for Jackson State. However, the Rattlers now grab their biggest lead early on here in the championship match, up by 2.
Which is, yeah, just 2 points. That's not that big of a lead. That's how close this match has been so far. Both teams doing a great job siding out.
They trailed for a majority, certainly of the first half of this set, by as many as 3 multiple times. Back to a 1-point set after the service error. In a match like this, anything over 1 feels like a big lead. James, 28 aces during the regular season.
Great dig.
In the middle, what a dig by Trinity Bryant, and Jackson State gets the point. We're tied again.
That was a complete athleticism, natural talent reaction from Briggs. Jumping up, I wasn't sure if she was going to set it or hit it. Great call by her.
The serve by James, sliding in was Brashana Brown. Brooklyn Watts denied, but that one went out of bounds. Jordan Jones was there, but it went in the wrong direction as far as Jackson State is concerned. Point Rattlers. And keep in mind with FAMU serving, they're one of the best serving teams in the country, 4th in the nation in aces per set. Alexis Williams on the attack, tied at 19.
Williams loves that line shot. Florida A&M's going to have to start adjusting, whether it's have the right back go on the line or the block completely cheat, because she is so good at making that drop right in the corner.
Jordan Jones with the serve. Push back over by Kyra Dove. And flying in, that one skimmed off of Jordan Jones, thanks to Jada Rhodes, again, who's replacing the injured Ione Sanford.
Taylor giving Rhodes the shortest set. Look how low this set is. That makes her react a lot faster, speed up the approach, the swing. It makes everything go faster.
And sent down by Jada Rhodes, who's starting to heat up late in the first set. And that forces Jackson State to call a timeout as the Tigers suddenly trail by 2 late in set number 1.
Whopper, what's that Whopper? You created the showstopper.
Athletic Conference in an absolute battle in set number 1. The winner goes on to the NCAA postseason as the automatic qualifier. And right now, FAMU with the 2-point lead in set number 1. They are out hitting Jackson State by nearly 100, 276 to 175. And the Rattlers will serve coming out of the break. Kalia Todd, one of 9 graduating seniors on this squad. Slammed down by Isis Williams.
Right now, the Tigers are really giving the Rattlers a lot of points. 7 hitting errors, overpasses, giving Florida A&M the kill. You got to clean it up if you're the Tigers.
Williams having a big opening set. Alexis Williams had to wait for it, held up, and altered the velocity on that. Jada Rhodes with a little too much velocity.
Rhodes doing everything she can to go for that deep corner. Right now, the deep corner is working for the Rattlers, and the line is working for the Tigers. Both teams have to really adjust defensively.
And serving will be Nyjah Gaddis. She's had a great opening set, sophomore out of Indy. Defensively, she has been flying everywhere for the Tigers. Galvez, Rhodes joust, and point Rattlers as they get closer and closer to taking set number 1. Well, now they changed the point to Jackson State. A big call. So instead of 23-20, it is 22-21. And a timeout call.
This match, or excuse me, this set is so interesting because Jackson State has 16 kills. Florida A&M has 11. But right now, Jackson State's having trouble finding these balls. I'm not really sure what happened right here. It looked like it was definitely Florida A&M's point in my eyes. I'm not the one that makes the decision, but back to the stats. When it comes to digs, Florida A&M has 12. Jackson State has 17. Right now, Jackson State is outplaying Florida A&M minus the errors. The difference in this set is the Tigers are taking a lot of hitting errors. Florida A&M doesn't have as many kills, but they have a lot less swings that are going out of bounds.
So again, this is not a challenge by Gökhan Yilmaz. It is a timeout. This opening set has been close right from the moment we got underway. FAMU out hitting Jackson State 258 to 171, out blocking them as well. But the only thing that matters is 22-21 in favor of A&M. And Jada Rhodes has had a big impact early on. 3 kills on 9 swings. You know, Jada Rhodes, number 4 for Florida A&M. We mentioned she was the SWAC player of the last year with Alabama State. Transferred over to FAMU in the offseason. You think unbelievable addition. This team is so deep, she didn't always get the opportunities throughout the season she got last year with Alabama State. But now she is getting a golden opportunity, unfortunately at the expense of her injured teammate Ione Sanford. But Rhodes has come to play in the opening set of the championship match. Here's Gaddis. Free ball coming up for Jackson State, down by 1, trying to tie it, and they do, thanks to Alexis Williams.
Williams starting to move the ball around more than she was in the beginning. She kept going line. Now she's mixing it up, going for the cross shot, but landing right in that hole of the court, right in front of middle back. Great shot.
What a set. Gaddis. Gaddis nearly got the ace, and she does! And Jackson State goes up by 1 on the first ace of the match. And that will force the Rattlers to burn another timeout. So Jackson State held the advantage for the first half of the set. The Rattlers had momentum as of late, but ace number 1 comes at the perfect time for Gaddis and the Tigers. And
when it comes to volleyball serve receive, it's one thing to have a bad pass or get shanked at first contact. You do not want to shank the ball again on second contact. That player who comes in for the second touch, it's on their shoulders to put that ball 20 feet in the air, 10 feet off the net, and not make the third player mess up contact as well. Got to make sure that you're being more purposeful when it comes to those touches and serve receive, especially this deep in the set.
Now, this is a Jackson State team that dominated the opening set of their semifinal matchup yesterday against Prairie View A&M. But the Lady Panthers ended up coming back in that one and winning the second set. That one was close for a while before Jackson State pulled away. For A&M, they cruised through their semifinal matchup yesterday, sweeping Bethune-Cookman. That sets up this contest. And really, this opening set is the way the previous 2 matchups have gone this year, Shelby. Both 5-set nail-biters between the Rattlers and the Tigers.
We didn't even bother asking each other, just so everyone knows who we thought was going to win. I have absolutely no clue. You can see from this set, it's punch for punch. No one is being sloppy. I talked about the Tigers' errors. Those are minimal inches errors. These balls are getting hit well. It's really whoever's going to end up playing the cleanest is going to win this match.
And big-time SWAC rivals, Jackson State and Florida A&M. Tigers going on a run with Gaddis serving. See what they do here. Rhodes trying to respond, and she does. We're tied at 23.
Rhodes is also another player on the court who just freezes in the air. She has that pause, that hang time, and then she absolutely unleashes. Watch her point of contact. She kind of stops for a split second. That allows her to look across the court and decide in real time where to hit.
Rattlers had more than 220 aces this year. Still looking for their first of the match. Williams charging in, but the block was right there in her face. And all of a sudden, it's set point Florida A&M. And now Jackson State will call timeout with the opening set on the line.
huge block by Thornton, but notice that Williams was right by her. Even when Williams is not the one blocking the ball, that intensity is spread out to her pins. She makes sure she touches shoulders with them. She gives them confidence. You can see her talking to Thornton after the kill, telling her what she did right. That's the kind of leadership this team has with their middles.
Isis Williams is the first middle for Florida A&M since the 90s to crack the all-time top 10 list in blocks. She had 280 entering this conference tournament, and she's shown why so far. The 6'2" senior middle has been dominant at times. FAMU currently out-blocking Jackson State 5-1 in the opening set.
Something you also won't see on paper regarding Williams is, yes, she's a very successful blocker, but she makes her pins a better blocker as well. She closes the block, leaves no seam open, which gives her teammate more opportunity to get that block. She's really contagious when it comes to her success at the front.
And for FAMU, I mean, this is what they were building towards. A veteran-laden squad that used last year's motivation after getting swept by Jackson State in the championship match. Added some transfers as well, and they said to themselves, this is the year. 26 wins on the season so far. The winningest season since Gökhan Yilmaz arrived 7 years ago. All set up for this SWAC championship matchup. Now 1 point away from taking the set. It'll be London Hatch, the senior out of Illinois, serving. Gaddis. Williams. No! Another block for Isis Williams and the Rattlers as FAMU takes set number 1, 25-23.
Williams also overcoming the broadcaster curse. We could not say enough good things about this block, and finishing that first set with an all-out solo block, reading across the net, seeing Williams' arms, and making a statement in this first set with the blocks.
Is their ticket to the NCAA postseason. For FAMU, it was a block party in set number 1, thanks in large part to Isis Williams.
Isis Williams, 3 solo blocks, 3 block assists. She is so good at these ISO situations, mainly because of that patience, and she really reads that hitter in front of her. She can wait to see where Alexis Williams is facing with her shoulders in this celebration. I mean, I'm pumped up watching her. She is absolutely bringing the heat to the Jackson State Tigers.
Yeah, she's part of that height advantage for FAMU. Jackson State does not have a player on their roster taller than 6 feet. And the 6'2" middle Williams taking advantage, at least through set number 1. Florida A&M out hitting Jackson State 273-136. They weathered the storm early on. They trailed by 3 multiple times in the first half of that first set.
And in that first set, Isis Williams got the set-winning block, but she actually left the split open. You never do that as a middle blocker, but she could read the hitter and know they were going cross and decided to not close with her right side, but stay put and got the block. That's brave right there.
Look at the emotion from Jaden James. What do James and the Tigers have to do to respond here in set number 2?
Stop hitting out. Right now, the Tigers are doing everything right. Start hitting around the block, stop hitting out, and you could take this set.
Tigers serving to begin set number 2. Nice dig by Trinity Bryant. James on the attack. Galvez returns the favor in the dig category. Fighting that one off was Alexis Williams. And it bounces around as a number of players go to the floor. Opening points of the set goes to Jackson State.
Incredible set by Dove, too. She literally fell to her knees in back set. That's usually when you see the setter take it with their platform. Great effort.
Karish Dove, recently named SWAC Setter of the Year. The team up by 1 after dropping the first set, and sound like a broken record, another FAMU block.
And the block really took off towards the end of the first set. It really wasn't too much an issue for the Tigers in the beginning, but right now Florida A&M is just reading well. Tigers have to hit around.
That was Kalia Todd, the 6-foot middle. And right now, Jackson State can't get anything past that front line for the Rattlers.
Rattlers had a triple block on that as well for Jackson State. You got to start covering. If you are not the one hitting, you better be low, ready for that ball to be blocked.
Serve going to the floor was Dove, and that one nearly took the head off of Galvez as Jackson State responds.
Ball actually swiping Galvez's shoulder, just getting out of the way. And Jackson State, again, their sweet spot is that line shot on the pins. Left side, right side. They're so good at finding the line, mainly because of that power.
Jaden James, one of the senior leaders on this team, began her career in this arena playing for Grambling as Gökhan Yilmaz. It's a bit of an explanation after that last point. Play ready to resume with James serving for the Tigers. On the attack is Brooklyn Thomas. Haven't called her name too much. A veteran transfer from Winthrop.
Thomas also entering the tournament with 986 kills, almost at that 1,000 career mark. She could absolutely beat it if she keeps hitting like that.
Such a deep team for Florida A&M. Well, you said Jackson State's got to work on keeping it in, but there's another attack error for the Tigers.
You can tell Williams was not trying to get anywhere close to that block. Tigers are going to have to figure out how to stay aggressive, keep the ball in, and hit around the block. They definitely have a big task ahead of them.
Yeah, Rattlers having an impact at the net even when they don't block it. Finally, the Tigers break through, back within one.
That swing is what is going to give confidence to the Tigers, not only getting through the block, but getting through Isis Williams. Great job at hitting with that strength.
And reaching for that one, unable to save it is Mackenzie Taylor. Just like that, we're tied again. And Taylor, the freshman out of Charlotte, who's had to take over that starting setter role after FAMU lost their starter a month ago to a torn ACL. Jada Rhodes. Hope Riggs. Catching that one was Watts on the defensive end. And Thomas right into the net. So the Tigers going on a bit of a run. A lot of momentum swings early on. Jordan Jones with the serve. Rattlers push it out wide to Rhodes. Two players colliding for Jackson State. Dangerous play. Williams hops up, and slow to get up is Kyra Dove as FAMU takes the point.
You know your team is getting a lot of digs when your middle is colliding with the outside. Middle blocker is not usually the first one to go down for the dig. That just shows you the Tigers are giving the all-out defensive effort. That's what you want to see.
For good reason, the season is on the line here in the SWAC Championship. Hatch serving for the Rattlers. Hammered home by Gina Rhodes.
That overpass is another reason the Rattlers won that first set. Tigers giving the Rattlers too many free points. Keep that ball on your side. If you overpass it, FAMU will put it down in your face.
Rhodes, a team-high 5 kills so far. In the middle, responding is Kyra Dove, the sophomore.
Dove is showing her teammates it is possible to hit around the block of Williams. Great job in reading what Williams was taking away. Decides to cut that ball, go for the right backcourt. Nice, nice eye.
Just back and forth action between the top two teams in the SWAC. Gaddis serving. The Tigers have gone on a run today with her serving. Not there. Isis Williams.
Williams showing she is not here just for the defense, but also that offense. Great footwork and connection with Hatch. And nice job avoiding the block, making sure she turns her shoulders to the left back.
She's doing everything so far. 3 kills on 3 attacks to go with 3 solo blocks. Rashana Brown, another senior on this FAMU squad serving. Off hands, what an effort by Brown.
Great up.
Free ball for the Tigers. Tigers, and it drops in. Are you kidding me?
There's really zero excuse for a free ball to ever drop on your side of the court, especially in a tournament championship match. That is going to suffocate the Tigers. That completely takes all the momentum for the Rattlers.
Shauna Brown deserves that point. Won't get credit for it in the stats, but her defensive play saved the point. Regardless, the Tigers respond. Sierra Gilbert, junior out of College Station, who's now in the match. Alexis Williams with the serve. Isis Williams, finally the Tigers have a response for the middle. Not that time.
It's like Williams is a sixth rotation front row player. We're always saying her name regarding the block. Looks like it might have touched the tape a little bit, but still got part of her arm.
And usually the libero for a team is known as the fiery, energetic player. Not so in this case. You see Isis Williams bouncing around in the middle, hopping up and down after each play. What an effort there, meanwhile, by Brown. And the effort too much offensively from Watts, as it was too strong.
If Watts could have gotten that ball in, that would have been one of the most in-system plays yet from the Rattlers. Amazing dig, right to target, great set, just couldn't keep it in.
Tigers keep fighting back. Trinity Bryant serving within one, and there's an ace for Bryant. We're tied at 9.
Deep float by Bryant, and she really meets the ball pretty low, almost serving up in the air. Again, not the tallest player, 5'2". Gives us some nice float, though.
Just unable to get that one over.
It's always a bummer missing a serve, but if you are following after an ace, it stings a lot less, and your coach is going to let it go for sure.
Yeah, if you're getting the aces, most coaches are okay with the service errors. 3 aces so far on the day for the Tigers. FAMU, one of the best in the nation in that category. Still searching for ace number 1. And the block out of bounds this time. The Tigers tied at 10.
Tigers starting to take back the momentum, and it's a tie to 7. For a while, the Rattlers seem to have all the energy on their side. Energy momentum is going to be what takes the team to the finish line.
This is the opposite of the first half of set number 1 when Jackson State had all the momentum, but FAMU rallied back. Sent over by Watts. Hope Briggs on the attack, off hands, point Jackson State, and the Tigers jump in front by 1.
Briggs showing that when you go off the fingertips of the Rattlers, good things will happen. She's not trying to be fancy going around or through the split. She's trying to get that tiny touch at the fingertips.
She's got a match-high 7 kills, hitting nearly 600. And charging in is Brooklyn Thomas, answering for the Rattlers.
Just a back and forth match. This whole thing so far, side out to side out, answer for answer. No one can go on a run, but it's a really fun match to watch.
Brooklyn Watts serving. Led the team with 36 aces this year. Doesn't get one there. Pushed up by Mackenzie Taylor. Sent over by Thomas. Bryant. There's James tooling the block.
Are we surprised the Tigers weren't going to let the Rattlers serve 3 times in a row? Everyone is doing such a good job at real-time adjustments. Again, the Tigers getting a lot more confident offensively. A big part of that is because Isis Williams is out right now.
James had a lot of success against this FAMU team in their meetings earlier this year, but Rhodes coming back for the Rattlers, tying it up.
It looks like the Tigers thought that ball was hit outside the antenna. Something to note, Williams is back on the court for Florida A&M. Watch out for those blocks.
She's got 3 kills. Rhodes with 6 to lead the way for FAMU. Hope Briggs. That did not touch anybody up at the block. FAMU up by 1.
15 hitting errors for Jackson State, only 5 for the Rattlers. You cannot win a match when your stats are that different error-wise.
And still neck and neck with the Rattlers. Alexis Williams, no, she keeps it going. They go back to Williams. What an effort on the back row from Brooklyn Watts. Bryant. Alexis Williams. That Rattlers block was waiting in the wings. Rhodes got all of that and more. But the Tigers keep it going thanks to James. Free ball for the Rattlers. See what FAMU does here. Diving in to keep it alive was Karis Dove. What a rally in Grambling. And Jackson State ends up with the point. FAMU is arguing. They want a challenge.
My favorite play yet of the match. The all-out effort, the digs, the reads, and finally this ball dropping out from Williams. I think she thought that was in at first. I saw that ball going out. That was a great play.
And we will get a challenge from Gokhan Yilmaz.
And really, regardless who gets this point, you couldn't have asked for a better effort from either side right now. The digs, the reading, everything is going right. The volleyball IQ is absolutely there right now. Williams trying to hit into the block, hoping it goes out, dropping her pinky, lifting her thumb. Watch this right here. Oh, okay, it looks like it might have been on the line right there. Line judge quick to call it out. But that view looks pretty much in right there.
You could see Brooklyn Thomas, the senior middle, saying that one was in. An immediate reaction, and her coach has challenged the call. If the call stands, we're tied at 13. If it's overturned, FAMU grabs the lead. And every decision, every challenge, every review, just absolutely crucial, not only because this is a championship match, but because it's been so tight so far in each of the first two sets.
Look, if this ball touches the line, you can see the shadow right there. It's right in the middle of the line. It's not even towards the edge. In my opinion, I do think the ball lands in. From seeing it immediately, I did think it was out regardless. That was a great hit from Williams, trying to get that tool. Right now, though, it's just the Rattlers block. It's an absolute block party from Florida A&M. And Jackson State's looking a little bit more confident, but to me, the biggest thing that gives hitters confidence is their back row players. Okay, Williams starting to like her blocks. She's bringing the bark potty. I love it. But Jackson State has to start covering their hitters more so that when the Williams does block the ball, someone else is there to dig it up.
Well, Isis Williams excited for good reason. She's having a big day, but not excited at the result of that review. The call stands. Jackson State point. Williams looks on as we're tied again at 13. There were 11 ties in the first set alone. And another back and forth set here at the SWAC Championship. In the middle, Williams denied. And Jackson State pumped. Sierra Gilbert coming up big.
CC Gilbert lined up perfectly against Williams one-on-one. When you can shut down the best blocker with your own, that's going to go a long way.
Jordan Jones hurrying over is Taylor. Jada Rhodes skying for that one. Alexis Williams sends it over, and it finds the floor, beating Gomez to the punch. The Tigers go up by 2, trying to tie this one up at 1 set apiece here from Grambling State University in Louisiana. Up here in the SWAC Championship, winner punches a ticket to the NCAA postseason. FAMU took the first set by 2. Tigers lead by 2 here in the second, make it a 1-point lead now, thanks to the response by Jada Rhodes and the Rattlers.
The sharpest cut shot we've seen this whole match. Jada Rhodes dropping her thumb, lifting her pinky and arm as much as she can, and forcing that ball to drop in front of the 10-foot line. No way, Tigers. We're getting a touch on that one.
London Hatch, senior setter out of Illinois. Alexis Williams reaching for that one, the freshman Galmez. And returning the favor defensively, Jaden James. Williams blocked And again, that block paying off big time for the Rattlers. They're up to 9.
Great dig by the Tigers, keeping that ball in play. They need more digs, though, in coverage. Watch right here. Everyone just standing straight on after that ball drops, after Gilbert touches it.
2 points out of the break for FAMU to tie it at 15. Hatch. That one hammered off the block by Milana Thornton, tooling the block, and the Rattlers go back up by 1.
And it looked like Thornton was throwing a baseball. She literally winds up for this hit and just smacks the ball as hard as she can.
And one of the few underclassmen on this team, the sophomore out of Atlanta. And that is in for the first ace of the day by London Hatch, the senior.
It's one thing to get aced by shanking it, but to get aced by the ball simply dropping by your feet is painful. As a player, you got to make sure your feet are on the line. Therefore, it's easy to know if this ball is going in or out. I don't think Williams will let that same thing happen twice.
FAMU number 4 in the nation in aces per set. 225 aces on the season, entering the postseason, entering this SWAC tournament. And listen, if you would tell them you would only have 1 ace on the day and you'd still be up 1 set to nothing and up by 2 in the second, they would definitely take that.
And we already talked about it's a serve and pass game. You want the ace, but more than anything, if you can't get that, you want to get that team out of system. And right now, the Tigers are playing pretty in system, but the issue is hitting out right now.
Defensively, both of these teams showing up big time. Diggs, a big storyline. You can see the effort all out by the Tigers and the Rattlers.
My favorite part of the match so far, 100%, the digs. No one is letting anything touch the ground. If something does touch the ground, bodies are on the floor. Middle blockers are getting in on the digs. Nothing is just given right here.
And I would love to say the effort's there because it's the championship match, but I'd be lying. These two teams always play max effort when they face off against each other. A couple of 5-set meetings earlier in the year. And of course, they met in this exact championship match last year. Jackson State, the winner, 3-0.
And Rattlers had 67 digs yesterday. Yoma said, we're going to have to do that again tonight.
They have 23. The Tigers have 30. Hatch serving up by 2. Briggs on the attack. There's Watts with the dig. For the Orange, Rhodes on the attack. That one high off of Karis Dove. Briggs sends it over. Hatch. Jada Rhodes hammers one off the block. And this communication tap back and forth. This one ping-ponging around. Hope Briggs sends it home for the Tigers.
Tigers are starting to figure out how to get past the Rattlers block, and Rattlers are so good at closing it. If the Tigers even see a tiny bit of split, even 3 inches, go for that ball.
Hope Briggs with 8 kills. And the most for any player on either team. Serving is Nigel Gaddis. That's who they want at the service line when they want to go on a run. Rhodes, meanwhile, knocked over Gaddis. Free ball for the Rattlers. Williams thought she had the kill. Tigers kept it alive. Free ball, Jackson State. Golden opportunity. And they end up tying it at 17.
Again, the Tigers finding success in changing up their shot. Going high over the block this time. Marcelin making it drop right in front of the libero, beating out the block and the back row defense.
Gaddis. Hatch in the middle. Williams tapped it over. Alexis Williams tools the block. Galvez somehow saved the day. Close call, and that one just missed the mark. Point FAMU back up by 1.
What a dig by Galvez. I don't even know how she got that ball up, much less over, keeping it in play. She's the reason her team got this ball. Watch this dig. Not only does she get a touch, it goes back to the middle of the court, not being shanked off to the stands.
Galvez has spent the last 2 years as the starting libero for Spain's under-20 national team. Got a piece of it, but that one got the best of her. Absolute fire from Sierra Gilbert. Alexis Williams with the serve. Brooklyn Watts, Bryant going to the floor. Galmez. And players diving all over the place. That time it was Naja Marceline. On the attack, Brooklyn Watts.
All-out effort by the Tigers. I did not think this ball was going to go over, but it still is a free ball to the Rattlers. There was no way FAMU was not putting this ball down with the kill.
Galmez serving. She had an ace in all but 6 matches during the regular season. Off the block, going to the floor is Watts. Gaddis. That one bouncing around, and the point goes to Jaden James and the Tigers.
Huge swing by Jaden James, going right for the libero. Galmez not able to get that ball up. Too much miscommunication with the seams.
Epic set, epic match so far. Tied again. Bryant serving. In the middle, off the block from Todd. The dig out of play. Jackson State has jumped in front by 1.
Jackson State first to the red zone, which is that last 5 points of the set that you need. Pretty encouraging from that first set.
Bryant serving again. Brooklyn Watts tools the block and answers for the Rattlers.
It's going to be really hard mentally for Jackson State if they lose this set. Down 2-0, especially when they've been right there the entire match.
There's the freshman Mackenzie Taylor serving with the set tied at 20. Had an ace earlier in the tournament against Grambling. Push right towards Galmez. Brooklyn Watts, no! The Jackson State block was there, but it went out of bounds. Point Rattlers. They were ready, but couldn't direct it in play.
It's so important that all 4 hands are turned into the court. Right here, watch this touch. The hands and arms have to face the middle logo. That big G's where you gotta look.
Meanwhile, for FAMU, that one blocked in play, Rattlers by 2. And Jackson State will call a timeout.
A good decision for this timeout. FAMU only up 2 points, but it feels like a huge deficit for Jackson State just because of how close this set is and how much momentum each point gives the team.
It really is, because you look not only at the stats, but just the feel of the match. It has been harder for Jackson State to score points due to that FAMU block. They're now up to 10 blocks on the day, out blocking Jackson State 10-2. And it has just been a struggle for the Tigers. You got to give them credit. They continue to battle.
What's crazy, though, for the Tigers is they have 31 kills of the match, while Florida A&M has 23. The issue, though, is those errors. Florida A&M only has 6 of the match. That's pretty good for 2 sets in volleyball. For the Tigers, they have 19 hitting errors. It's going to be really hard when you are giving your other team so many points to win the match.
You bring up a great point, because Jackson State has taken 21 more swings, but they're still down 1-0. Down by 2 here late in set number 2, and you said it, and I don't know if you want to call it a must-win set, but it sure does feel like Jackson State does have to have this second set after dropping the first one.
And for Jackson State, yeah, it's definitely a must-win set. It's going to be really hard to reverse sweep the Rattlers, especially in the championship match.
26 total ties already in this match, 15 here in set number 2. The Rattlers trying to pull away late in the second. They've been going on a run with the freshman Taylor serving. Gaddis. There is James, and there is that FAMU block.
Todd getting in on the fun. I talk about defensive effort by the Tigers. There was no way anyone could touch this ball. That block was so deep, going low, not getting tooled. It was perfect.
And the frustration has to be mounting for Jackson State. FAMU now with 12 blocks on the day. Rashana Brown, Brooklyn Watts. That one fought off by Williams. James with the attack and pulls the block. Jackson State desperately needed that point.
Jaden James has yet to show any fear of the Rattlers block. She is using their hands in her favor. She sees the swing block just a little late, not able to match up to go to the middle of the court, and goes off their hands.
And meanwhile, the close-up of Kenzie Taylor going all out. It'll be Karis Dove, 34 aces during the regular season. The Tigers could really use one now. And they get it!
When you're the libero, you are trying to take 90% of the balls. Anything you can touch, you are going to get. But this ball drops right in front of Gomez. There really was no reason she should not have had that ball up.
And FAMU, even with the lead, will call timeout. Jackson State up to 4 aces on the day, and really a crucial moment in this match, as FAMU trying to go up 2-0 and punch their ticket to the NCAA postseason. Hey, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will be in LA at SoFi Stadium for the Harbaugh Bowl, our Week 12 Monday Night Football matchup. Enjoying this one. Both of these schools travel well, getting their money's worth. The first set was epic. Florida A&M narrowly taking that one 25-23, and the second one has lived up to the hype as well.
I will say the crowd here has been my favorite vocally of this season. Not sure if these are parents, family, or friends, but I am loving their interactions. It reminds me of club volleyball when your parents are right on the sidelines. You can hear them. They're yelling good things right now, but it's so much fun to listen to them and get intense for their team.
And the season on the line and the careers on the line for a number of these players, including the 9 seniors on FAMU. We're trying to keep it going for Jackson State. It'll be Dove serving out of the timeout. Watts pushes it over off of Dove. Bryant, Hope Briggs. And that one too strong. Set point on the way for the Rattlers. A big moment in this SWAC championship match. Watts serving. Hope Briggs got all of that one. The Tigers stay alive in set number 2.
Rattlers struggling a little bit blocking-wise whenever Isis Williams is not up there. Their leader does a lot, especially for the pins. Tigers have to take advantage when she's not in.
Set point number 2 for FAMU. Jada Rhodes. Bryant. Hope Briggs. That one put away by Jada Rhodes, who ends the second set. And FAMU is 1 set away from advancing to the NCAA postseason.
Second cut shot by Jada Rose. There was no way this ball was going up. Look where it lands. Right in that left front spot, the 10-foot line, dropping that thumb, cutting the ball. It does not get better than that.
The Rattlers winning both sets 25-23. And really, what an effort for FAMU, considering they are missing 2 of their star players. They've been without one of them, Koliva, one of the best setters in the conference for a month now with a torn ACL. And they lost one of their star outside hitters, Ione Sanford, late last night in the final set of their semifinal sweep over Bethune-Cookman. But no excuses for this Rattlers squad. Again, 1 set away from taking the SWAC championship. And we're now joined by their head coach, Gokhan Yilmaz. Coach, this one has been a frantic, action-filled SWAC championship here in the first 2 sets. Your team is 1 set away from winning. What do you tell your squad right now?
It's a great match so far, and we were not expecting anything less than what Jackson State is putting up right now. we just need to continue competing and continue believing that we have a good team, and we're playing well so far.
And Isis Williams blocks right now. What is she doing to spread out that energy to her pins?
This is something that we've been working on a lot this year, and I'm glad she's stepping up. Kalia Todd is stepping up too, and she's moving her feet, and finally we're pressing a little bit. Hopefully it stays with us.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck in the third.
Thank you.
Gökhan Yilmaz, just named SWAC Coach of the Year. This is the winningest season he's ever had, and hoping it continues. We'll be back for set number 3 from the SWAC Championship after the break. Coach, what does your team have to do now to get back in this match and take this third set?
I think we need to be a little smarter offensively. We're trying to swing hard and low, and they're doing their job with blocking those balls, so we got to just finally go high hands, use the block a little bit more. And it's just a few little things here and there. Clearly, it's been 23-25 both sets. So we just got to clean up a few little things here and there and kind of get the momentum back and then work from there. We've gone 5 each time we played, so we're looking to do that now.
Your team's out killing the Tigers, but taking more hitting errors. How do you turn those hitting errors into kills?
Most of it's blocks. I mean, they're just kind of blocking us, so like I said, we just got to use the block a little bit more, be a little bit more smarter offensively, and keep passing. Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck. Thank you.
Marcus Herford, who's just done a tremendous job this season. His first year as a head coach, taking over for the legend Rose Washington, the 5-time SWAC Coach of the Year, who retired after 22 years. He was a part of her staff for the past half-dozen seasons. But now their season on the line right now, down 2 sets to nothing. But as Coach mentioned, Shelby, a couple of awfully close sets, 25-23, FAMU taking both. But in the previous 2 meetings, they went to 5 each time.
And Herbert's been in this situation many times before. However, this is his first experience in that head coaching role, kind of like how a freshman, it's their first time to understand that pressure. He is learning this pressure in a whole new environment, situation, a new role, and he's doing a pretty good job. He seems pretty calm. He's pumping his players up, but this is a learning experience for him as well.
And for FAMU, this is the day they have focused on for the past year. After getting swept by Jackson State in the SWAC Championship a season ago, they made it their mission not only to get back to the championship match, but to win it. They are 1 set away from doing that. As Gökhan Yilmaz looks on, they've won the SWAC postseason tournament in 2 of the last 3 years. Can they do it again? Set number 3 underway. Tapped over by Marceline, and Jackson State, just like they've done in the previous 2 sets, takes the opening point of the set.
I like that Jackson State is already moving the ball around in the middle of the court right now. Not even trying to be aggressive, just trying to be smart, whatever it takes to get the kill.
Alexis Williams with the serve. On the attack was Brooklyn Watts. Bryant Gaddis. And drop it in there, courtesy of Marceline, the senior out of Glendale, Arizona.
Marceline back-to-back kills with that power tip, making the ball drop in the middle of the court. The middle of the court is always open in volleyball. That's the wing's job to get it.
Jackson State is right about at 100 swings. FAMU 75. A big advantage for the Tigers. Can they take advantage? They are so far here in the third, now up by 3.
Tigers really moving the ball around, especially in those seams. Really not even afraid of playing near Gomez, trying to make her get on the floor.
Going on that run with Williams serving. Sent over by Watts. Gomez. Watts off the block. James. Thomas. Max effort being given on this rally in the third. That one just past the outstretched arms of Jada Rhodes. 4-0 Tigers.
Keep feeding Marceline. Whoever is hot is who needs the ball for the Tigers.
And a quick timeout here early in set number 3 by FAMU. Tigers going on a run in the third.
Jackson State is doing everything right.
talked to him before the match. I said, what's the special pep talk you're going to give your team? He's like, oh, no, we know what's on the line. He said something special to him in between sets because this response has been unbelievable. Trying to save it was Brooklyn Watts. It is a 12-1 advantage for Jackson State.
The Tigers have fixed those errors. They would not be on this 12-1 score if they were playing like they were earlier, hitting out.
And Gokhan Yilmaz, head coach of FAMU, is just going to let his team play through it and try to tough it out. No timeout. Thomas. Gaddis. Marcelline, that one bouncing off the net. And the point for the Rattlers. Still down by double digits.
Rattlers trying to stop the bleeding. Not able to come back from the service here, Jackson State. They desperately need a run of their own.
They average 2 aces a set. They have 1 total in the match. Make it 2. Kalia Todd.
Todd demanding the momentum for her team with the ace. Again, it's going to take a lot more than 1 point, though, to get Florida A&M going.
Too strong there. Marcus Harford called it. He said, listen, we played 5 in each of the previous 2 meetings. We're not worried.
Well, and Harford's team might need to be a little worried because now Isis Williams is back on the court. And she's an X factor for the Rattlers when it comes to energy and, of course, her blocks.
Here's Karis Dove, dangerous server. Hope Briggs, who's had a big match. Jada Rhodes. In the back end, Alexis Williams. Jaden James with the point for the Tigers. They are just refusing to allow FAMU to get back in this set. Karis Dove has had a great year. SWAC Setter of the Year, 2nd in the conference in assists. 34 aces during the regular season. Rhodes had to reach back for that one. No, great pancake by Thomas. All for naught as that one put away by Jordan Jones.
What a comeback right now for the Tigers in this 3rd set. And trying to make that ball drop, but that was just great defensive effort from Thomas. Just not able to extend it for that full rally going through the middle.
What a performance in this set by the Tigers, just absolutely dominating a team that has yet to lose this year in conference play. Jada Rhodes deflecting that one towards the stands off Bryant.
Rhodes is that outside that gets the job done for the Rattlers. We saw her taking more cut shots in that 2nd set. Now she's trying to find that deep corner again. Keep feeding her right now.
Serving for FAMU will be London Hatch. Started to heat up from the service line late in the season. Dove. And there is, you mentioned it, Isis Williams back in the match and having an instant impact for the Rattlers.
It's not just Williams' block that makes her so good, but I love the fact that she's the first one to the huddle, first to turn around, getting her team pumped up. That's the energy you need.
Monster deficit for FAMU here in the 3rd set. They do have a 2-0 cushion after taking the first 2 narrowly. Trinity Bryant. Jordan Jones, FAMU block, led by Williams. Tapped over, going to the floor was Dove. Bryant.
Error by James, but that's not something we're seeing in this 3rd set, so you got to fully shake that one off. Do not worry about it. Jackson State has completely reverted those errors and are turning those swings into kills.
FAMU with the service error. Back to a double-digit lead in this 3rd set for the Tigers.
If that ball could have cleared the net, I think London Hatch would have had the ace. She's just really far back behind that line.
In this set, the Tigers hitting 240, FAMU minus 040. That one stays on the FAMU side. I mean, Jackson State can just do no wrong right now.
This is where you start taking those swings you were scared to take in the first 2 sets. Go off the hands, move the ball around, go for cut shots of your own for Jackson State.
Going to the floor, London Hatch, but she can't stop the ace from happening. Number 7 on the day for the Tigers, number 3 of this set.
And go for the ace as well. Tigers were not serving this confidently. Those first 2 sets, when you are up like this, you are serving for the point.
Again, no timeouts called by FAMU. That one off the net, now to play. I mean, this has just been unreal. It's a FAMU team that's dominated opponents all season long. And they still have the 2-0 lead. But they look nothing like the team we saw in the first 2 sets and for most of the year in this 3rd set. Rhodes with the point.
Huge swing by Rhodes, going for that same shot she found success in that left back corner. Bryan not able to cut that ball off. There's just too much speed.
Winner of this match gets an automatic bid to the NCAA postseason. Last year it was Jackson State. Before that, FAMU got it the previous 2 years. Hope Briggs tooling the block. She's up to double-digit kills.
Briggs, all SWAC player. First team last season, showing why. She has such a good shot. She's a strong lefty. She's going off Isis Williams' hands. She has a lot of courage to do that.
Can't say enough about the fight from Jackson State. Could have packed it in down 2-0. They've done anything but here in the 3rd. Brooklyn Watts with a dart, but again, an error just a bit too wide. No, that one is in.
Florida A&M is getting all their kills on that left back corner, and that's a good point. Yoma's right here, not calling the timeout. You might as well not at that point. This is a huge learning lesson for Florida A&M.
Absolutely. Williams. Shauna Brown. There's Watts. Oh, Briggs back at it, off the block. Hatch reaching for that one. Galvez, Watts. Make it 21-8 in favor of Jackson State.
Rattlers played 2 great first sets, but the Tigers were not playing like they could have. I wanted to see a set where both teams were firing on all cylinders, and you can see what Jackson State can do.
Is it anything FAMU was doing wrong in this set?
No. No, I think that right now Jackson State's just going off right now. Serve receive, I would say, could be better, but hitting is just, they're just trying their best.
Great dig by Gaddis for Jackson State. Was around her teammate to get that one, Alexis Williams. Now, Jackson State arguing it was touched. The initial point goes to FAMU, saying it was out. Marcus Herford reaching for the card, and he will challenge this one.
Must be pretty confident to take this challenge because you're already so late.
Now, at a quick first glance, it did seem like some fingers were moving potentially. We will, of course, get a replay of that one.
I didn't think there was a touch, but I thought the ball might have been in. Oh, on the block.
Right
yep,
hand.
that's it. That's a good call. It definitely looks like there was a movement from there at the block. That's why it's important to watch the spin when you're a back row player. If there's a spin, that means your blocker definitely touched it.
Either way, Jackson State in good shape here in this 3rd set. In a must-win set with their season on the line. What a great response for Marcus Herford's team. Again, in his first year as head coach, former student at Jackson State, then assistant, working his way up the ranks. And now the head coach. His team went 13-3 in the SWAC this year. And 2 of those 3 losses came to this FAMU team in 5-set contests.
And when you're in high school playing or even club, the blockers, when they touch it, always yell touch. In college, that is fully taken out. You never tell on yourself and yell touch. So sometimes your back row really doesn't know if you touched it or not.
And we'll continue to look at that one. In this set, Jackson State with a big hitting advantage. 233 for the Tigers, minus 059 for FAMU, and it just hasn't been the hitting. A number of aces, 3 in the set as well for Jackson State. They have done everything at max potential, getting closer and closer to winning the 3rd set. And again, Jaden James, the emotional leader of this team, keeping her team focused here, as you can see during the break.
And right now is when Jackson State has to go for the kill every swing, has to go for the ace every serve. Be 100% when it comes to aggressiveness. You can still be smart, but you'd rather be aggressive when you have this kind of lead, because that's going to follow you in the next set.
As for FAMU, already at a huge deficit, even if this call goes their way. What's the message for the Rattlers as you kind of look ahead as well to set number 4 potentially?
It's actually interesting because Yilmaz is not even talking to his team during the challenge, and essentially challenges can be used as a timeout as well, but this is a learning lesson for the huddle. Figure it out. And to be honest, you probably will not come back to this set. You might, but you probably won't. So change it right now so that those shots lead into that next set for you. They don't look too worried. They are playing with great body language.
Even the challenges are going Jackson State's way. They win that one. It was touched by Florida A&M, and it's 22-8 now in favor of the Tigers. Rokan Yilmaz can do his look on. Again, his team still with a 2-set lead, but the Tigers on the verge of getting right back in this SWAC championship matchup. Hatch sliding over, denied, was Thornton. Walks, no, that one blocked right off of her by the Tigers.
Marceline is the game changer in this 3rd set for the Tigers. Her offense turning to defense with the block, going straight for the Rattlers.
Gaddis serving up 23-8. Trinity Bryant, veteran libero. And the point from Marceline. Some of the Rattlers thought it was out. Set point on the way for the Tigers, on the verge of making this a contest. Gaddis for the set. Brooklyn Watts, no. Absolute domination as Jackson State keeps their season alive. And we will go to 4 here in the SWAC Championship.
Suffocating block from CeCe Gilbert. Her team did not have a worry in the world in that set. They fixed their hitting errors. Everything was hitting in, hitting around the block, getting their own blocks, getting digs. There was nothing the Rattlers could do in that set.
3 solo blocks, 7 block assists, and starting to heat up again here in the crucial 4th set.
Rattlers absolutely need Williams in this set right now. That 3rd set, she wasn't very involved because the Rattlers weren't scoring. When you aren't scoring, you aren't rotating. That means when Isis is out, she is staying out. You need to score points in order to get this middle going.
And they need her energy and emotion. They feed off that. Like you said, she was quiet in the last set. That has certainly changed in a hurry early here in set number 4. All with Brashana Brown serving. 6-0, FAMU run. That one knocked down Galmez, and the Tigers respond out of the break.
Again, it's the line shot for the Tigers right now. Galmez not able to get a sustainable touch on it. You got to put your helmet on, your platform out, and just hope it goes up in the air.
Alexis Williams. Hatch. Thornton. The dig by Gaddis. And the attack by Marceline misses the mark. Back to a 4-point A&M lead.
Easy call for the line judge to know it's out when it pops right off her foot. And that's what players have to do. Get your foot to the line. That's the way you know it's in or out so quickly.
There's Galmez, the 3-time SWAC Defensive Player of the Week. Tremendous freshman. In the middle, quick reaction by Hatch, the dig. Thornton pushes it over, diving to the floor was Marceline. Locks on the attack. The point will go to FAMU.
It looks like Marcelin might have been in the net. Pretty out of system on the Tiger side when trying to get that ball up.
And despite the score of the last set, FAMU with all the momentum right now. They can feel it one set away from getting revenge from last year's match. But Jackson State not dead yet.
Jaden James again going straight for Gomez. Usually you try and avoid the libero, but Tigers are trying to show they are still extremely confident this set.
Trinity Bryant in her final year with Jackson State. Watts with power. Gaddis was ready. Here's James. What a dig on the back row by Brown. Watts on the attack. That spun around Bryant.
Both teams' outsides are going straight for the libero. Trinity Bryant in the right read, stopped in base, but there is too much heat on this ball from Watts. You know you're feeling yourself when you're hitting right at the libero.
This is like two heavyweight fighters delivering some major shots back and forth. Season on the line for Jackson State, down 2-1. FAMU trying to take the SWAC championship. Watts again, Williams one-handed, point FAMU.
Rattlers are really rattling the Tigers right now. Did you like that one, Alex?
See what you did there, Shelby.
I'm surprised you didn't do it before I did.
Saving that. FAMU up by 6 at the service line. Mackenzie Taylor. Hammered off the block by Marceline, who's been a key player over the last set and a half.
Marceline has really stepped up ever since that third set right now. And even when the Rattlers block is set up strong against her, she's still down to go through the hands and really test their strength.
Harris Dove, junior out of the Austin area. Taylor. Bryant with the dig. Hope Briggs, Galmez. Sliding over. Awkwardly was Taylor. There is Thomas, blocked. And the point for Jackson State, pulling back within 4.
Earlier in the play, Taylor, the setter for the Rattlers, was all over with the double. But you are allowed to double this year as long as the ball stays on your side. You could see the crowd not really liking that. I guess they kind of forgot about that rule.
Dove with the serve again. Taylor. There is Watts off of Bryant. And they have her moving all over the place, trying to save these attacks, unable to.
Good effort by Bryant. She went backwards, trying to cut that ball off, just not able to cut it first before it swung off her platform.
Watts, former SWAC newcomer of the year. Briggs flying right into the FAMU block. And put away by Brooklyn Thomas.
Interesting stutter pass from the Tigers. That could have been a great play if that decision to set the outside was made earlier.
You have to wonder if Jackson State's going to call timeout here. Running out of time in their season, but they do get the point there to pull back within 5.
Jackson State is really going to want to get to 10 points first before the Rattlers get to 15.
Jaden James with the serve. Taylor flying in. Jada Rhodes answers right back, the former SWAC player of the year. Hatch with the serve. Hope Briggs trying to save her best for last.
Clutch a swing by Hope Briggs. Not really watching the score. She's not playing the score. She is playing the Rattlers, and she is really playing against their block, making sure the ball is going outside the hands.
Jordan Jones, senior from Germantown, Tennessee, with the serve, and the senior with the ace.
Tigers are loving the aces right now. Deep flow from Jones, going right on the platform of Gomez. When you are the libero, you got to make sure you are taking every ball you can.
4 aces in the last set and a half. As Gomez sends it over. Hope Briggs calling for it. Gomez with the dig. Jada Rhodes rolling over was Jaden James. That one too strong. Point FAMU.
Beautiful dig by Gomez, but the Tigers had no reason to lose that point. It was that hitting error that we saw so much that first and second set. That has to be adjusted immediately if they're going to stay in this match.
FAMU with their best set yet offensively, hitting better than 350. Hatch with the serve, and the service error. FAMU with just 2 aces. Again, they average 2 per set coming into today. That means it goes back to a 4-point set. Winner punches their ticket to the NCAA postseason. Jackson State needing to win this set, keep their season alive, and force a decisive 5th set. Jada Rhodes. Bryant. Here comes Alexis Williams. Rhodes reaches back for it off the block. Marceline, no! Isis Williams is fired up.
It is so hard to block a roll shot because for the roll to get over the net, it has to be really, really high. You can't roll right over the net. The fact that Williams blocked that ball shows you how high she can touch. Middle of your screen, number 10. Look at that reach. I thought the ball was going over her arm.
FAMU is 10 points away. And nearly another ace for Brown. Make it 16-10 Rattlers. And that will force a Tigers timeout as their season is on the brink right now.
Tigers did make it to 10 points before the Rattlers 15. When you get deeper in the match, you start to take the mindset of still did not go to his team. He still stayed on the bench. His team stayed in the huddle and figured it out.
And again, a FAMU team doing this without 2 of their best players. 9 points away from winning the SWAC championship for the 3rd time in 4 seasons and earning that key automatic bid to the NCAA postseason. Sliding over on the attack was Sierra Gilbert.
Oh, I thought the ball was going up by Hatch. You can always play it off your feet, too. You never really see it, but it's fun when you do.
The Tigers desperately need to go on a run. Hatch pushes it out wide to Brooklyn Watts.
Just impossible for the back line of defense of the Tigers to get the ball out that touch of the block because the block slowed the ball down, making it drop in the middle of the floor.
Galmez serving. Watts, meanwhile, up to 13 kills. And there is an ace for the freshman, Timmons Galmez.
Perfect spot by Galmez. Look where this ball lands. It is right in front of the line judge's feet. It cannot get more perfect than that. You got to make sure you are following that ball. You can see the Tigers immediately take ownership of that mistake.
Out of all the veterans on this squad, the 9 graduating seniors, it's the freshman Galmez who's also had a great year. She had an ace in all but 6 matches during the regular season and coming up with her biggest of the season moments ago. Well, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will be in LA at SoFi Stadium for our Week 12 Monday Night Football matchup. It's the Harbaugh Bowl. It'll feature the 7-4 Ravens taking on the 7-3 Chargers, 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes. Along with Peyton, I'd love to find out because they came out on fire. But now what do you say with your season on the brink?
Tigers just got to make sure they're making that ball drop in. And I do like the fact they're not really playing scared of the Rattlers block. They're going through the hands or going with the hands. But it's those little things like getting that ace. It's one thing, I already said, it's one thing to get aced with a shank. That happens. But when you are getting aced, letting the ball drop in your court without even a touch, there's no explanation for that.
And regardless, Marcus Herford has just done a tremendous job in his first year as head coach. 19 wins, 13-3 in conference play during the regular season. But now down by 7 in the 4th, trailing 2-1. Galmez serving for the Rattlers. And there is that FAMU block, but out of bounds. Tigers needed that one. 6-point set.
That was a hard ball to get as a kill for the Tigers. That block was set up really well from the Rattlers. The issue was the hands were barely pointing out.
Trinity Bryant, senior out of Dallas, who's had a great career with the Tigers. Hammered home in the middle by Kalia Todd.
And Todd was so far off the net right there. That was not a tight set whatsoever. Look where she makes contact with the ball. She's about in the middle of the 10-foot line. The fact she can still hit that hard to the corner shows you how high she is reaching.
Here is Mackenzie Taylor, who took over a month ago as the starting setter, the freshman. And for the injured Alexandra Paliva, that one misses the mark, 19-13. Tigers trying to get something going in what they hope is not the final moments of their season. Brooklyn Watts. Bryant, and charging in on the offensive is Jaden James, 19-14.
There was no stopping this swing from Jaden James. Her footwork, her approach, that windup, you knew that was going straight down.
She's up to 10 kills. Tigers within 5. In the middle, Kalia Todd says, enough of that. FAMU has reached 20.
Keep feeding Todd, and when the Rattlers are feeding their middles, that means they are in system defensively. She is doing a good job at reaching the corners. Last hit, she went to the right back. Now she's testing the left back, really moving the ball around.
Brooklyn Watts, 13 kills to lead the way here in the SWAC Championship match. That went off of Galmez. What an effort by Mackenzie Taylor, saving it. Jaden James, the dig by Galmez. Jada Rhodes. Bryant sends it over and out of play. The Rattlers are 4 away.
Rattlers taking off in the end zone. Tigers really stepped up last set. They show they have it in them. The talent is 100% there, but right now they need a side out.
That is Dove on the attack, and that one is too strong. FAMU can sense it. After having the SWAC title ripped away from them last year by this Jackson State team, they are 3 points away from getting it back. Make it 2.
Herford talked about the errors. He said that the Rattlers were getting great blocks, but his team's also just hitting it out. They're not hitting the net or willing it out, but it's just a little adjustment that needs to be made.
After the Watts serve, the dump pays off for Karis Dove.
Good eye by Dove. She stayed on her feet, shoulders facing forward. I had no idea that ball was going over the net. Extremely deceptive.
A junior from Austin, Texas, who's had an outstanding season with the Tigers. Jada Rhodes. Match point on the way for FAMU. And an automatic bid to the NCAA postseason on the line as the Rattlers fans come to their feet. Kalia Todd serving for the match. And there it is! FAMU has taken back the SWAC. The Rattlers are headed back to the NCAA postseason.
What an ending for the Rattlers. Off an ace by Todd. And acing LeBaron Bryant, one of the best passers in the SWAC. Tigers really stepped up last set, but the Rattlers came back and were just too consistent for them.
What a season. The best of Gokhan Yilmaz's tenure as the tears start to flow. The Rattlers will have another match coming up in the NCAA postseason after winning the SWAC for the 3rd time in 4 years. As for the Tigers, nothing to be ashamed of. Great season for Marcus Herford as well in his first year in charge as they come up just short. The winningest year for the Rattlers during the 7-year tenure of Gokhan Yilmaz, now at 27 wins and counting. Went undefeated in SWAC play during the regular season at 16-0. 9 seniors here enjoying this moment, an emotional moment for all these players who will be moving on soon, but again, who will live to play another day.
The Rattlers block is just the story of the night, and Isis Williams really turned it on for her team, and that momentum is contagious to her pins. One of the best blockers in the nation. Saying hello on FaceTime. Oh, you got to tell everybody about the win. I love it.
Brooklyn Watts with a team high 13 kills. Jada Rhodes stepping up big for an injured Ione Sanford. Isis Williams, what a monster performance by the senior, dominant at the net. Break out the hats. The Rattlers are SWAC champs once again.
What a match. You can see the emotions from the Rattlers right now, and the fact that they were beaten that badly in the 3rd set and did not let that define them in the 4th is amazing.
We are now joined by one of the stars of the match, Brooklyn Watts, the senior out of Odenton, Maryland, as her teammates celebrate hoisting up the SWAC Championship trophy. Congratulations, Brooklyn. How does it feel?
Thank you. This feels amazing. I mean, I can't even describe it. We've dreamed about this moment for so long now, and just to be able to feel it happen is great. It's a great feeling.
Brooklyn, your team was so dominant in those first 2 sets. Then the 3rd set, things changed. What did you and your teammates say in the huddle going into the 4th set?
I think once they kind of gapped us a little bit point-wise, I think we just knew we needed momentum to go into the next set. And I think we got a little bit tired, but we remembered that goal and how bad we wanted this, so we were able to after that.
Brooklyn, I know you lost in this matchup last year. How much motivation was that to come and get revenge here in your final go-round?
Yeah, we thought about that loss almost every day. I mean, every practice practice it was brought up. Every time we stepped onto the court, we were reminded of it by coach or ourselves. So, you know, it just feels great to go out and get that rematch and get it back. Yeah.
Congratulations on the win, Brooklyn.
Thank you.
The senior, needless to say, a huge part of this team as they break out the shirts and hats once again for the third time in 4 seasons. FAMU wins the SWAC tournament, and they earn the automatic bid to the NCAA postseason, taking down Jackson State in 3 sets. And they live to play another day. For Shelby Coppage, I'm Alex Loeb. We thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.